Hey, we are live!
Hey.
Welcome to Balikbayan returning home. So glad to be back. It's Stir Friday night. I'm your narrator, your tour guide, your GM for this session, Masood Huck. And always, I'm joined by the wonderful, inscrutable, the hilarious, and delightful Stir Friday night. And before we get back into Balikbayan, let's go around and do our intros. And before I ask y'all, I do have a question. So let's start off going around. Oh, unfortunately, Jonah's not with us tonight. Got a little busy with life stuff. You know how that happens. But they'll be back. And in the meantime, you can look at their beautiful headshot. Amazing. So starting off with Erica, going back to the regular classic, I would like to ask you one question. Tell the folks who you are, your pronouns, what your character and their pronouns are, and answer me, what movie-worthy heist would you pull if you knew in the end you would get away with it?
I love this question. Okay. My name is Erica. My character's name is Izzy. Our pronouns are she, her. And Izzy is a saint, which means that she can communicate with little gods. She talks about religion and stuff, and that was her old life. And now she's becoming a free being. But question, what would my heist be if I knew I could get away with it? I heard this on a podcast recently. I think it's a very old episode, but it was about professional poker players getting hacked when they were at conferences. Like their computers would get stolen, and then like malware would be put on there, and then because they play online, the person who could see their moves and things like that. So I feel like I would want to be in the world of professional poker players and just like steal from them, maybe.
I love this. I love gaming people who play games. I think that's because like that's so wonderful. At the end there's always like that final heist turn, and it was like the unexpected card draw that might have been lucky but was actually secretly planned this entire time. I think that's top notch.
Right. Because also in a game of chance, like you always could lose.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
It's like that any of y'all watch Sherlock on Netflix and the BBC program?
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah. The first episode with the pill bottles. It's kind of like that.
I didn't watch that closely.
Get out of here. You're a monster. Up next, let's move right along to said monster. Ben, tell us about you, your character, your pronouns, and your answer to this age-old question.
Hello, everybody. Ben Cummings here. My character's name is Mr. Ferryman. He is a spirit that can travel between the world of the living and the world of the dead. And like everyone else, he's a cyborg robot living in the future. So all the attendant powers of ghosts, etc. Exciting stuff. And both of our pronouns are he, him, his. My answer to this question is, like, if I knew I could get away with it, obviously you'd want to do something like, well, Fort Knox, and then you'd just be rich forever. Mm-hmm. But what's cooler than being rich is being mysterious. And I don't know if you guys have ever heard.
No, but have you heard about $2 billion?
No, man. There is this like weird manuscript, this like book from the 1400s or 1500s or something like that called the Voynich Manuscript.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's got all these like crazy letters and like drawings and strange pictures, and people have been like trying to figure out what it means for they still don't know. It's possibly just has no meaning, but it's like really weird, and there's all these urban legends about it's like a book of spells, or it's a book about aliens or whatever.
But it is like the final seal of the apocalypse once people
stuff
understand.
Like that.
Yeah.
And a book of Game of Thrones. Yeah.
But it is like legit, like old, and so it's like baffling to historians. So what I would do is break into whatever rare book school has that, steal that, just because it'd be like, whoa, that book must have really meant something, even though it's probably some maniac in the 1400s, like some monk who's like scribbling and stuff like it doesn't make any sense.
I do like that movie, like heist of that, like the captor, the like trying to get it out, and then looking back in time and realizing it's meaningless. I like really dig that. Yeah.
I do like the idea of like stealing a rare book, but it's kind of like Da Vinci Code has ruined that. Like if you wrote a movie right now that was about like stealing rare books or that world, people would just think it's Da Vinci Code.
It's like, oh, it's Da Vinci Code. No, the Da Vinci Code. Nobody stole books in the Da Vinci Code. Yeah, but it's like the Da Vinci Code.
This seems like something they would do in the Da Vinci Code.
Yeah, exactly. Moving right along, Asra, tell us about you, your character, your pronouns, and what movie heist would you accomplish if you could?
Hi, I'm Asra. My pronouns are she, her. My character's name is Alien. Her pronouns are also she, her. She's an Aswang, and an Aswang's like an umbrella term for like shape-shifting dark spirits. Alien specifically is an ex-soldier who can turn into an alien like from the movie Alien versus Predator. I know, very creative. Okay, if I were to do a heist, I'm so excited because I love heists. Okay, I would, you know, in Ocean's 12, I know it's the worst of the oceans, but
worse than 13?
13 was.
Well, I wasn't allowed to watch them growing up, so 13 was the first one I watched, so I really liked it. So maybe if I go back, it's bad. But I remember 12 being really bad. That's when they're in Paris, right? Or in Europe?
Because Al Pacino is the third one, right? In 13.
Yes.
That's
so is that one bad?
No, I mean allegedly. You can have your own taste, and
that's
you
fair.
Can be wrong.
No, I don't think I've watched. I don't think I've watched anyone over except for 11, and I don't think I've ever watched 12 all the way through. But okay,
Stop
you know
asking the question. Yeah.
The guy, the like bad guy in that one does like a break dance to like steal the art. I was like, I want to do that. So I want to break dance into like art museum, and I want to steal. Okay, no, wait, is it the Louvre that has the Mona Lisa?
I think so.
I don't know. Okay, so
Not the Louvre.
The Louvre. I want to go there. I want to break dance, steal the Mona Lisa, and replace it because I'm gonna get away with it, right?
Yeah.
I want to replace
in the
it
end,
with, like...
in the end, you'll get away with it. You guys, so you might get caught along the way, but eventually you make it out. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I want to replace it with like a really bad selfie of someone, and then yeah, that's what I want to do.
Hell yeah, I like that. I do have
breakdown.
questions about whose selfie would you use? Would you use like
I don't know.
someone you hate? Would you use like would it be like a Banksy sort of thing? Would you pin it off like it was like a Banksy art exhibit?
No, I'll do someone who I hate.
Oh, perfect. And pin them
and
on it.
It'll be a bad selfie, and people will be like, "Wow, this heister is so dumb. Why would they put their own photo of themselves?" And
it's a terrible photo. They look so awful. They were very bold about that decision.
Exactly.
And speaking of bold decisions, tell us all about yourself, your character, your pronouns, and what would be your answer to this question?
Hi everyone, my name is Shu. My character is Luzon. Luzon is a Dewata, which is basically an elemental battery of sorts. And so she is, her pronouns are she, hers, and she is comprised of all four elements like an Avatar style character. Unfortunately, she was freed by an heiress of the current world, Angel Moon, and the two fused their personalities. So Luzon is now one part adorable heiress and another part unstoppable killing rage machine. So this is going to be fun. Okay, so I've given a lot of thought to heists before. And so you have to be really careful about what you steal because it's not the stealing part that's actually the hardest. It's about finding a buyer afterwards, unless you're like Ben and going to just like hang out with an ancient book or whatever. So anyways, so that leaves only a couple things because a lot of things have microchips in there or like they can be traced back. So we're talking about hard artifacts that contain a lot of value such as diamonds or specific jewels, which gets harder and harder because there's a lot of diamond mines technically that Russia and China are sitting on. So I think it's going to be art. Now, the thing with art is that it always appreciates, right? But you have to pick the very specific art. So you're looking at specific Dutch masters, for instance, like Bruegger's or Vermeer, that only have like 16 paintings. Caravaggio has so many.
What do you do if the appreciation value like changes? What if like the world of art suddenly says
art has only ever gone up in value. It's never gone down.
Once someone's been a master, it stayed like...
That's it.
Okay.
Yep. And there are people who are discovered as new masters, but basically if you are like cemented as a master in like the early 1900s, like you are going to be making so much bank. Anyways, so I think the way to do this heist is
you might be Van Gogh and die before you see your success. But
Van Gogh's paintings are there's a lot of them. There's a lot of museums. It's like Monet's. Those are not the ones that you want to go for. You want to go for people who had about like 16 to 20 paintings maximum that are known throughout the world. So that way that they can, when you put them on an illegal art auction, people can buy it immediately.
You can buy the whole set. So you're like stealing a gallery exhibit. Like you're getting
no. You just want a limited number because you want people to know what painting you're stealing. You want them to know it's rare, and you want them to know there's not a lot of them.
You just want to flip them. This is about flipping the pieces.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I'm not going to keep this. This city has so much money. Who do you think I am? The Walmart heiress? Anyways, so
like the
I've
property
given
brothers of crime.
Yeah. As B has pointed out, you might be the most ready for this question. So I might.
I mean,
if you
I'm
just
saying
disappear, we promise we won't say a thing. Yo, everyone's crazy. Remember how crazy it was when Shu got rickets and then just had to like go to the hospital and never came back?
Shu got rickets.
the adult striking of rickets is a thing.
Yeah.
And there's only a couple of museums, I think. You can't go for the Louvre. It's too big, way too much security. Only a very few heists have actually gone through. You want to go for a much smaller museum, possibly someone's personal stash, because they're going to have a lot less. And that way you're going to be able to either be able to bribe correctly, or you're going to be able to bypass security if they have like the right kind of security at all. So I'm just giving it a little bit of thought.
A little bit of thought. I like this. It's good to see that you've been busy in quarantine. And that false wall behind your, kitchen pantry, we know where it leads now. This is very exciting. And last but not least, we got Harrison Happen. My man, tell us about you, your character, your pronouns, and what is your answer to this age-old question about heists?
Sure. Hi, I'm Harrison Happen. I play Ambo, the Golden Hammer of Baguio. My character is a duende, which is an elf. I am a building specialist. Build some cool stuff. But to answer that question about the heist, it's going to have to be Denzel Washington, Inside Man. Break into a bank, big bank with a crew. Wear the same outfits. You know, if people haven't seen Inside Man, you better see it because I'm not going to ruin it for you.
No, dude, there's a moratorium on films. If it's been over 10 years since Inside Man came out, you can talk about it without worrying about spoilers. I made this rule last night, and I stand by it.
Okay, fine, wonderful. I just really want to have a passionate argument with the person who's what do we call the negotiator?
Yeah.
Find out that they're trying to get married, and they're not making a lot of money as negotiator, but it's secretly I've stolen some Nazi documents and blackmail people, because that's what I want, is to blackmail people and steal some diamonds. And I drop a fat diamond in his, after hiding inside the safe, building up a fake wall, just doing push-ups.
Yeah.
Just doing straight push-ups, just reading, improving knowledge, and then after people have stopped, after that, then run into the negotiator, drop a diamond in their pocket, walk away. Didn't get caught.
Nice. I love that. I think we lost Shu for a moment. We'll see if they'll come back. They might be back. I may have spoke too soon. Perfect. And Harrison, it just sounds like you want to rewatch the movie Inside Man.
Yeah, I really want to watch it.
If I could load up a VR simulation where then you could just walk through Inside Man, I feel like it would be the exact same thing, perchance.
Yeah, that would be great.
Okay,
yeah.
That's good to know.
Also, you'd have to figure out when they're actually carrying that amount of money, because banks are required to carry like X%, 10%.
Oh, shoot. In my world, I know.
Because you're the inside man.
Already.
You're the inside.
I'm the inside man. Yeah.
Okay, but how are you inside the understanding of like federal trading reserve?
Shoot, if I told you, you would snitch on me. So I'm not going to tell you my full entire plan. Okay, so.
I am no snitch.
Hey guys. I mean, I might snitch. It depends. It depends on what the offer is. I don't want to die in jail. I think that's like the vibe, so I might snitch. We'll see. But I'm Masood. My pronouns are he, him, and I'll be playing an assortment of NPCs tonight, and their pronouns will change as I do a different voice for them that will be a surprise to you and me sometimes. And for the answer to this question, what heist would I do? You know what heist I would do? I would win everything on Wheel of Fortune. I would rig Wheel of Fortune, and I would be the biggest winner ever. And then I would have a legal team with me to somehow make it so that instead of like, this was the one day they had the physical cash prize that was the largest one that they're taking a stand in front of, and instead of before it gets to the taxes where they have to like take half away, I make off with the actual cash. I got like hard cash, and somehow I'm just gone in the wind after
That's
dazzling
barely a heist.
everyone.
That's not a heist.
With my
That's a
skill.
scam.
What? All of these are scams.
You know what this is?
Is that a movie?
Usura is literally breakdancing to distract people before.
Hey, don't come for me
This is
because
the
I know
same.
what a heist is.
Come on,
Wait.
the heist is tricking people to thinking that I
Masood,
win the
you're-
game.
Yours is Slumdog Millionaire if the guy just didn't get beat up at the end.
No,
That's yours!
no, is it? Oh God!
Way to
Oh,
Wow, that's
oh
incredible.
dang, man! I don't think I can do this show right now, guys. I think I gotta go take a moment and process being read
It's
so
in
hard.
your rude.
Yeah, do you want some ice for that?
I don't think ice will fix this. It feels third degree. But I'll suffer through it. Yeah, guys, we play a game sometimes when we're not roasting me. And that game is Balikbayan Returning Home. It's a tabletop role-playing game that's cooperative based, and it's built in narrative storytelling. And all of it is made up here by us together. It's diceless. It's set in a Filipino cyberpunk setting inspired by folklore and mysticism, by that same sort of genre and history. And we do our job to try to have some fun in this world and survive, and who knows, make friends with a robot talking gorilla every once in a while. But to my knowledge, that was just what happened in a part of last week's episode. Sorry, 2 weeks ago's episode. What else happened? Does anyone want to give me a brief rundown?
We didn't get into it, but my character Izzy wanted to earn a token to prepare for our next leg of the quest, and so she went into the woods to kill a little god.
Ooh, I like that. So, sorry, let me process that. I was also getting caught with the chat in the chat of how it has become a roast Masood train, which appreciate. But more importantly, you went into, you killed a little god, and the reason you did that was to gain their energy, their power. Like what is that offset to you in doing such an action?
Well, according to the rules of Balikbayan, I earn a token.
Ooh.
Later, when we are in need of such things.
So you we're gonna role play that out in a moment, but I do want to cover everything else because I do think I want to find out. I think we need to find out what is the cost of gaining this token this way. Like what happens to the environment in doing so. And also, clearly the stakes demand it, right? Well, for those who forgot, we started off last week with you being rudely awoken in your beds by an attack squad of the Corp's finest troopers coming in and specifically set up and targeting each of you for the abilities that you had. Everyone had a team sort of designed to take them out in a way that would counteract their strengths. But even so, you all seem to persevere through teamwork and quick thinking and a little bit of luck here or there. And in doing so, it wasn't before too long you look back and saw the home that you had built yourself in Circuit City, Luzon Manor, destroyed. The former influencer who Shu's character had inhabited and now merged with their home, crumbling to decay as more and more troopers are falling to search the debris for you all. Making your escape, you tucked away into the sewers underneath the actual Circuit City. You knew of these through your journey with the acid cult and finding the direction that you needed to go. And once following through, you make your way out into a small reservoir where you saw the water lapping at the edge of the acid ocean, lapping ever so gently. Upon sitting there at this reservoir, before long, you eventually encounter Donkeytron, the robot gorilla that you all had originally twisted his mind into a mental conundrum where he's stuck processing binary from his physical machinations. And in doing so, you caused a reboot of processing his own identity and his purpose, somehow corroding your natural magic against the inherent control that the Corp had instilled in its creation from the biocult. But upon degrading this original programming, you all eventually are shown through his home, his lovely habitat in the jungle he's built, through the recycling of his friends that you all had murdered in some capacity. And you all had a conversation where you discovered that the person that attacked you could have been none other than the CEO of the building cult, the mastermind behind all of the latest inventions and tech tricks and gadgets flooding the city, the famous architect of your home, Marcus Estrada.
Boo.
This is no easy task. Ben's character, Mr. Ferryman, in one of our previous sessions, had found out some information about Marcus Estrada, working alongside one of his bonds, the valet, to figure out when he was supposed to die. But in doing so, realized that while other people's times are somewhat fixed and somewhat changeable, as fate bends to will every often, Marcus's was different. It was flickering between two states. One, a finite death, an end whose down to the nanosecond was pinpoint. And the other, a number never ending. A time, a place continually changing until eventual heat death of the universe. That clock was ticking to that timeline, and you all realized that if you were to do something, it seems like Marcus Estrada would then become an unstoppable force, and probably become the ultimate ruler of what was left of the Earth, if not the cosmos. So you do your preparations, and in this, we know that in a previous episode, we had Alien talk about specifically, you were doing some scoping. You were looking out the actual setup of Marcus Estrada's building, and where the building cult has established themselves on the first ring of, the seventh ring, I should say, of Circuit City. And what do you find? What do you discover as you're appearing around?
Well, I noticed. Wait, I beat someone up, right? And then I took their badge.
Yes, you. That is definitely what happened in the last episode, and good recollection. You attacked a member who's going into the building cult. You recognize them from their uniforms they're wearing, and you didn't kill him. You just stuffed him in a trash can somewhere. You know, typical stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Or did you want to murder him? Did you want him to die?
No, it's okay.
I mean, to be fair, you're an Uswong. You're bloodthirsty. I don't want to deny you a snack before you're doing your job, you know.
Well, then I'll probably have eaten him.
Perfect.
For strength.
Yeah, absolutely. And a flood of memories come rushing through you of the wife you've just widowed and his 3 infant children, triplets that were born just a week ago. Oh. And as you consume that tasty memory, you begin to walk into the building. What do you see there?
Okay. I see that there's a bunch of people having to swipe their key cards, and then there's like someone at a front desk. If someone's key card isn't working, they're like, this is not your place of employment, or I have to phone call the upper offices to let you in.
So you see someone manning that sort of desk, the security enforcement to this entryway.
And there are security guards. There are a lot of security guards.
Yeah. And as you look at them and you're walking through in your new uniform, you see that they all, the like elite security force is clearly here in armed uniform with their black garb and their weapons strapped to them, all carrying that same matte black pin on the edge of their lapels, just like those who attacked you, if not 2 nights ago.
Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking, wow, this is kind of like an intense place to work. I feel like, how do people get things done with all these guns around, you know? But then I continue, and I notice there's a ton of security cameras too. And so I go into an elevator, and I
Keycard swipes, no problem. You're making your way through.
Yeah, I go ahead and go to the top floor, the 30th floor.
You get into the elevator and you see the 30th button and you press it and the light rings up and the elevator does not move. As soon as you let go of it, you see the actual light disappear.
Wait, so I press it and it disappears?
No, the light around it. Like, the light turns off, I should say.
Okay.
Like in a hotel room, in a hotel elevator, you press a button and it'll light up when you press it. This is kind of like a penthouse, where unless you have the access to it within this elevator, it's not going to move.
I see.
At least to the 30th floor.
Okay, so then I'll go to the 29th floor.
You don't have access.
What the 28th?
Don't have access.
27?
Don't have access.
26? 25.
25 works. You get to the 25th floor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, here we go. So go to the 25th floor. And I get
honestly,
off.
I really thought I was gonna have them go all the way to 15. I thought that would have been the nice conclusion.
I would have been pissed.
But you make it to the 25th floor and you open up and you see folks going about their work. It's a sea of glass door, like sort of cubicles where the walls are actually made of glass. But as folks sit down, you can see through them from above, but as you get closer and you look, the actual glass is screens themselves, virtue displaying content as folks moving their hands through the air being registered by the infrared sensors being present. And as they're processing and working with these computer systems around them, no one seems to notice you arrive on this floor, but you do see an additional entryway past the elevators. Like most office buildings where you get off, you see folks all working, but there's just another door there. Next to it, a similar keycard reader.
Should I try it?
I mean, you're the player.
I guess I'll try it. Why
it.
not?
Okay.
Okay, so I try my key card in it.
You swipe your key card, it does not turn.
Oh, okay. So then I'm gonna go.
Do you want to inspect the key card?
Oh, yeah, I want to inspect the key card.
Yeah, take a look at the key card. You look at it and you see the numbers written 17 on the bottom left corner in a tiny like marker.
So I work on floor 17, or my guy did.
You recall, as you're thinking back on this man who you recently consumed, and are thinking of his first day on arrival being so intimidated by all of those buttons and knowing that he had to work on the blueprinting department, which was the 17th. That was his division. Arthur, trained all of his life to be an architect and was really excited about doing blueprinting like his father had before him. And hopefully one day to train his kids who now were going to start.
Triplets?
Yeah, they were going to do their own. It's crazy in this time, in this age, to be a new business owner. But I don't know, something about being a family contracting company really rang a good. And with that, you arrive on the 17th floor and you open the door.
Yes. I open the door.
You swipe your key card, and you see the blueprint department. Clearly, these within the building cult, this is where everyone goes about creating the blueprints, or at least the first level of blueprint design. Everything, of course, the next is improved as you go higher and higher up the building. You begin to recall the way the actual building structure and corporate structure were one and the same. The chain of command is quite literal. It is vertical. And in passing information along, it has to move one floor at a time. But you're in the space. What do you do as you look around and you see probably around 250 architects all at their each desks with their blueprint glass in front of them as they hold tablets, or styluses, pens in their hand, drawing on their tablets as it then appears on the blueprint in front of them.
You know what I see? I see a lot of people who need a vacation. That's what I see.
Mm-hmm.
They're working too hard, and all of their blueprints look the same. They're all drawing similar buildings. There's no creativity here because there's so many people with guns intimidating them.
Mm-hmm.
They're stifling creativity, and they need to feel like they can fail. So I've got a lot of thoughts.
Okay.
But that's for another day. I'll come back later. Anyway, you know what I want to look for? I want to look for the stack, the manila folder of blueprints that need to go up for approval. Can I do that?
Absolutely. You look around and you see, it's strange as it is for a company in this age to still require physical documentation for approval. It seems odd, but as you look and sort of try to recall more memories around from Arthur, and you think about the stories that they would tell around the water cooler of Mr. Estrada, of the CEO, of his greatness, and they do things the old-fashioned way because that's how he did them, and that's the way buildings are built in the Estrada name. And in doing so, there is a little bit of rigmarole and a little bit of hoops you have to jump through. And as you recall, specifically at the end of the hallway, at the end of the floor in the northwest corner, is the pneumatic tube, in which sends for things up directly one floor. You see in the northeast corner the pneumatic tube from the floor below.
Okay. So when you say pneumatic tube, is
I'm talking about like think for us, like when you go to a bank and you have the ATM.
Okay, that's what I thought.
That's a pneumatic tube. Exactly. Yeah.
So I'm not going to be able to go up there. Okay.
You do see an individual standing at the end of the hall and their place, waiting. This moment, something shoots up from the pneumatic tube, the floor below. They walk over, open it, look at what it is, and put it on a drone that is set up like one of those those Boston dog things that are eventually going to take over the world. It's like one of those, and it puts it on its back and types a code into it, and it begins to bolt off to the desk for the person that it was assigned to. And then shortly you see a different one come back at a different time, like 30 seconds later, approaching it. He looks at it, takes it, closes the document, and puts it in the tube, moving up.
What if I break it? And then I'm like, oh no, I guess someone has to go up. Well, this isn't going to work because it's only going to take us to the 26th floor.
No, you're just going to take it to the 18th floor.
Oh, that's right. We're on the 18th floor. Okay, well, there's no way I'm going to go up.
I mean,
unless I break every single tube, and then I'm like, and then I have to go to every single floor and be like, let me take this up to the floor above you. I'm the maintenance person now. Should I do that?
Well, I think it's also worth knowing that this might be as much that you, alien, could do. But you have found a lot about this building. There's a lot of information you've gained, and perhaps with Ambo or someone with a little more technical know-how, they could hack the elevator and make their way all the way up. You could find a way to jump through. You could, as someone put in our Zoom chat, we could put Ambo in the tube themselves. That's
he's getting tubed.
Yeah. You ever been Ambo tubed, man? The worst. But yeah, so
poop of the tube.
The poop of the tube. I was trying to do a noob tube reference, but I like poop of the tube even better. So you could stuff an elf in a tube and have him shoot up floor by floor. You could think of a lot of myriad of options, but you do have a pretty good idea of the building itself. And with that, I think might be the point where Alien's like, okay, I got what I needed to get.
I'm gonna clock out for the day.
Might try to
take the rest of the time off.
Thank you. I'm just gonna say, if you attacked one of those dogs, you'd had so many teams of like guns, and like the entire building would have
I
swarmed you.
attack a dog.
It's a robo dog.
Damn.
Yeah, those things are terrifying.
That's fair.
Yeah. So so that's what Alien does to prep. Let's get to Erica and talk about Izzy and the murder that you commit.
Yes.
What happens? What you leave Donkeytron's abode and you find yourself walking along a path deeper and deeper into the jungle, hearing the call of what?
I hear it and it sounds familiar. I've heard it before. It's the little god of corporate values. And they're on a corporate retreat in the woods.
I've given you all some liberties, but this is going to be very tough for me. There's a little god of corporate values.
Yeah, so you know when like one team at your corporation comes up with values for the whole company, and it's like
these are the core values. We care about integrity. We value perseverance and hard work. Hard work ethic. Yeah.
So in this world, that's not meaningless. It goes to this little god.
Oh, okay. It's like through people's belief. I like that. So it's not even like an old like Jesus is an old little god that's been around. I think this one is in all intents and purposes of like the natural world, new. The fact that the Corp has taken over in such a way, has built themselves and established them as they are, it has sort of the collective will of establishing core, like these company ethics to live by. And in this way, kind of like the way that some corporations actually like ran towns before. I mean, that's essentially what like Circuit City is, right? It's run by multiple corporations in different pockets and parts. It's devolved into more than just a business ethic. It's become a religion, right, for these individuals. And so this god appears. What do they look like as you see them? What do they appear as?
Yeah. You know what? They appear as kind of casual, a little bit laid back, but at the core, all business. Mm-hmm. So kind of like a t-shirt blazer situation.
Yeah, you see them. They got the all birds up on a desk that's floating in the sky. Yeah.
Ergonomic furniture, stylish.
The Heisman Miller chair, they're set up. Yeah.
Yeah, all that, and they know how to tent their hands, make a point with a neutral fist.
Thank you. You've given me a lot. Let's roleplay this out.
Okay.
Linda, I'm going to have to wait. I feel I have an unexpected visitor coming in. Were they scheduled for my 2:15? No? That's fine. I'll make some space. Hi there. Welcome. It's nice to meet you.
Hi.
Come on, take a seat. What brings you to my office today?
You know what? Let's get to that a little later. You know, I'm sure by the end of this meeting you'll know why I'm here, but what's important to me is making sure that this is like a good fit between us, and this conversation feels like it's mutually beneficial. I don't want to waste your time.
I like this. Thank you. Valuing my time. I appreciate. You know what? I feel like we're gonna get along with this deal. What's your? You got an offer for me? You got something you need from me? What can I do for you? You know, one of the most important ethics of business. Customer's always right.
Oh, I've heard. Well, we just have this great new coffee product that is going to make everybody who works and drinks coffee.
They still got coffee? They still got coffee beans on Earth left? Oh my God, I haven't a cup of Java in forever ago. I would love some.
Well, that's the thing. It's synthetic coffee, and it just drives brand loyalty.
So if we upstream this, we could get some product integration from the whole squad all the way down. Yes, I love this.
Yeah, and I have some samples. We don't have to grab them now. But
No. We could double click on it and circle back at any point.
I'm gonna double click. Okay. Well, here we go.
Oh, thank you. And this is your own brew, or what happened? Where were they locally roast? You know what? Let me taste first.
It's all local. It's all local, same, self-sufficient, harm-free.
Really robust. And honestly, I should use it for coffee, but I use it for a lot of things otherwise. I talk about my robust suite of options, but this is it's a little bitter, but
oh yes, coffee, if you remember, was bitter, and so we've nailed that flavor.
Any coughs so hard, a deluge of what you see are literal word soup comes out of his mouth. All these business terms, all these phrases that literally mean nothing begin to dissipate onto the ground as he upends all of his beings in a manner that then begins to scoot the desk up into himself as he collapses in a blink of an eye.
Oof.
As you dig through the word soup, you find the one tiny nugget of knowledge that you needed. And as you hold it, you absorb it. And you earned your token. Well done. Cool. And let's go. So we've talked about Alien. We've talked about Erica and Izzy. What are other folks doing as they get prepped? I believe we discussed Joan is spending time with Donkeytron and really getting in tune with a lot of their their Tikbalang nature of Little, really connecting with them and using Donkeytron as a bridge between the technical downloading and information of animals through history and that of a lived robotronic experience. And so as they're doing that, and unfortunately will not be able to join you all, well, we'll see how long it takes for you all to prep, but at least at this point you don't know how long that will be. So the rest of y'all are doing your own thing to get prepared. And so between Ambo, Luzon, and Mr. Ferryman, you know what? I'm gonna roll a D3, and we're gonna find out who goes between the three of y'all.
What service are you using to roll that?
I'm using that beautiful Roll20, the one and only virtual tabletop service provided to all of us just through a click of your browser. You don't even need anything else. Go to Roll20 right now and subscribe and get your own marketplace purchases and sets, and as well as just access to really, truly a great service that I can't believe you can just do through your browser. I wish I was still like artificially pitching at this point, but I really do love the product. Okay. /roll 1d3, and like that, I rolled the imaginary D3, a dice that actually is impossible to exist. You cannot have a 3-sided die. And you can flip a coin to get 2-sided stuff. It's impossible. But in doing so with your D3, I rolled a 2, which leaves us at Luzon. Tell us about your preparation for this journey. Sorry, I'll call it what it is. Your assassination. What do you guys do to prepare for your assassination on Marcus Estrada?
So I actually try to join in everyone else's thing, but it kind of seems like everyone else's thing is a little full. Like, I was trying to hang out with Alien, and then Alien and Donkeytron were like, hey, you know what? We're kind of busy right now. We're hanging out, and we're bonding over, the whole animal thing. And I'm like, that's cool. I'm just, I was just using this battery, and then I left. Mm-hmm. And then I tried to follow Alien as, Alien was going on, and then I was, like, trying to trail behind, and I was like doing the running thing, and then she just took off so fast. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, oh, well, Izzy's got a lot of cool stuff that's happening. So I tried to tag along with Izzy, and then all of a sudden, she was disappearing, and then she was talking to spirits or whatever. And I was like, maybe there's like an A and B conversation, and I got to see myself out. So Now I'm just kind of sitting here, just waiting to see what my friend Ambo is up to.
And so you have been spending your time trying to socialize with your party that will not socialize with you, as you've been like
Sometimes friends don't talk to each other for a while, but then
It
when they
was-
reconnect,
yeah.
it's like no time has passed.
and, and it was easier in the house because you could you knew where they all were at all
Oh, yeah.
times. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Constantly. But let's on that note, let's I'm gonna roll a mythical D2. I could flip a coin, but then sometimes I lose the coin, and then what am I gonna do? Dig around on the floor for a coin?
This is why you need to win Wheel of
plebeian?
Fortune.
No, yeah, that's why I need to win a Wheel of Fortune. Absolutely. And so I'm gonna roll. Do you want to be? Who wants to be 1? Who wants to be 2?
2, baby. Tails never fails.
1.
All right. And
Head.
with that, we get a 2. Ben, take us away. What do you do to prep?
I think I've gotten enough information from the dead. It's sort of what I'm always doing is talking to. I see dead people. It's a little reference to a popular film, and I don't think I want to do that this time. So, but because I have these ghost powers, and one of them is about it's called Spirit Fire, and it's about walking between 2 different worlds. But there's penalties if I get caught. So I think I want to go on a little bit of a stealth mission, stealth reconnaissance. I am assuming that there's a well-known company bar for employees of Marcos Estrada. It's kind of, these corporations would be the kind of place that open their own bar so that you get paid and you go spend your own money in their bar. So it's just like
It's a total. It's definitely like a Pullman Town situation. There's definitely a bar that everyone goes to, and it's not. The Corp runs money as it is, so you can't really use different money. But what they use is a currency that folks in the building cult need. It's influence. It's folks who are there, who are important, are there. The connections that matter. Like that is why if you're not at happy hour after work, you are behind the next day. You don't get this special assignment. You get pushed off in a certain manner. So you look around and you find McFarrigan's, the building cult's bar. Yes, McFarrigan's. And you make your way
just a crappy Irish pub.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It's a repurposed Bennigan's.
Yeah, I love that. So you walk your way into McFarrigan's. What does it look like as you make your way inside?
Over the course of this game, I've been injured a couple of times, and I don't really pass as human anymore. So I'm full on like shifted in between planes, like invisible to anybody who doesn't have this special sight to understand, to see ghosts and things like that.
Yeah.
But I think as I go in, there's music pulsing. There's this crappy, like fake Irish pub decor, like synth wood all over the walls, and like
Cherry Pie is playing over the sound system.
yeah. And I think there's a big balcony where you can see the real movers and shakers are, whereas I'm down on the first floor among all the clerks and the people that have less power that get spit on every day by the real movers and shakers. But I know that I need to get up to the VIP area because that's where the people who are going to be close to Marcos Estrada are. I can overhear, eavesdrop something that might be useful to me, or perhaps nothing at all.
Thank you for letting me eat my ramen.
Yes, sorry.
No, it's okay.
I'll have my noodles too. Go ahead.
Yes. And so as you make your way through the space, ethereal in nature, unseen by those moving.
Oh, yes, real quick, if I may interrupt. Sorry.
No, please.
In the play kit, it says the GM may describe what horrors may be triggered if you are discovered.
May describe. Well, we'll see if you get discovered, right? That's gonna be the check. And so I'm trying to. I'm really like I'm being fair. I'm thinking about this for the building cult. You're making your way through, and you are in the ethereal realm, this in-between dimension, but you can gaze and see a mirror reflection of our own. And in it, as you see these bodies, even among the throng of individuals, you can almost see their desires and wants. And on the ground floor, it's so loud because it's not one person's, it's all of them. And they're looking up at the top floor, and it's jealousy. They just want to be where those people are. You just feel that sort of, like, they're just tired of trying to climb up and over each other. They are tired of it. They would rather just be up there looking down. And as you make your way going through, you are pulling yourself now floating higher and higher. This game is diceless, but I'm going to institute a house rule here.
Okay.
Where whether or not someone of the billing cult happens to have the ability to see in the plane. And so with that, I'm going to roll a simple D2, like before. And you still twos, baby?
Yeah, I'm twos. Tails never fails, baby.
And tails never fails. So you make your way through it without any problem. You don't see anyone there who could trace you. And as you move your way through the throng of jealousy that is extending up towards the higher platform, and you begin to sort of make your way to these movers and shakers, you look and feel a sense of such entitlement, and yet hunger. The group's energy is not pointed down, because that's not where their attentions are. It's pointed at each other. What used to be a collective want of reaching up is now extending towards individuals amongst them. They know that the space up here is limited. This is also just a bidding war to get to the possibility of having the ear of Marcos Estrada. Ultimately, all the power still exists there, but this is where a lot of those individuals are who see their co-workers as less in the slog with them and more as threats. And so with that, what do you look to find? What do you look to gather?
Well, first of all, I'd like to say thank you for vividly making me remember what it was like to be at a theater pre-COVID, where it's just wading through jealousy and bitterness and entitlement.
Oh, you don't remember what it's like on day one of the audition versus the callbacks? What that vibe shift is like?
That's right. I think I want to use a neutral move, which is to find the fragment of a secret. So I don't know. Mr. Ferryman does not know who would be like the number 2 person to Marcus Estrada. He doesn't know his inner circle, but knows that he's at least around right now people that are movers and shakers enough to be in his orbit. So I think that I want to try and find if there's any, how jealous are they? Does anyone actually want to kill to take his spot?
Everyone. Every one of them.
They want to kill him.
Yeah. You feel it clearly, the energy that sort of permeates. It's the hunger here is that of. It's jealousy is interesting because it's like, oh, I want to be there, and like I'm hungry, I want to earn it. But like here, it's they got there and it wasn't enough, and so that pit is just growing and the want is deeper. And as much as through each other, I think you can vibe. All of them would rather just be at the top themselves.
To the level of being okay with murder.
Yes.
Okay. Then I... what I think I want to do, I think I want to just go back to camp, or because I think that this has been productive enough.
Yeah.
Right? Now we know that there are people willing to betray Marcos at the top.
Mm-hmm. You look around, and particularly as you say that, you're gathering a gaze across the room, and you see the man who runs the 25th floor, the only person who has any say before Marcus's 5 floors begin. And so let me in a game that's a lot of improv, you'd think I'd have a random name generator, just like easier on hand.
Gloria Arroyo.
Lion's Bane McNarf.
Okay. No life story. Do we want to give me? Do you want a biblical name, an ancient Greek name, mythology, whimsical? What are we feeling? Or do you want?
Yeah, let me think of
Mythology, whimsical.
a mythology. We're gonna
Filipino.
Yeah, biblical name for a betrayer. You should
biblical Judas Wimserbottom. Judas Wimserbottom is actually Judas Wimserbottom is better than Kanti Kamakshi. I'm just gonna use Judas Wimserbottom instead. So you see Judas Wimserbottom sitting at the edge of the balcony, actually looking down at the crowd, and he's an individual of good means, and therefore has the ability to have had work done on himself to clearly appear and look beautiful and stunning. But as you look at him through this mirror plane and you see his himself through it, you see the person before the cybernetics, before the surgeries, before the all the enhancements that were present, and you see Judas standing on lifts, standing over the edge as he normally is. And you look at him and you see nothing but true contempt as he gazes down, and then feels a deep hatred at the resonance that he knows the gaze of Marcus Estrada has on him. And you know he's on the 25th floor in this space, in this in-between realm where you've witnessed that you have access to subliminal energies flowing off from these individuals, seeing some a little more mystic and fantastical elements about them. Is there anything you want to do to Judas or gain from Judas in your interaction right here?
Well, I don't want to reveal myself. And I do know now that if we were to run into Judas, we could, as a last resort, try and bargain with him, since he has a motive to be against Marcos.
You also know who's on the 25th floor. You also gain that knowledge, yeah.
That was the fragment of a secret that I got. Other than that, I don't have any tokens, so I can't do anything without there being some consequence, which would probably be bad since I'm in a bar that's entirely just the people who work in this building.
You did say that in the play kit, it literally says, "What horrors await you? You should ask the GM." So I think it's fair to play safe.
Yeah, I think I will do my best to head on back without being noticed.
Awesome. And so you make your way back, and then we move our way down to our last individual, Ambo. Ambo, what are you doing in your preparation? As you know, this will be the first time you're probably going to see you're trying to see your brother in, how long have you been in jail?
20 years.
20 years. And so in this 20-year time, I imagine even before then, you didn't even see Marcus Estrada. You two have been separated for such a long time. You're old, like 20 years is also not that long to you.
No.
I think it's like if you're a creature who's like 367, like it's really kind of minuscule in all sense and purposes.
Yeah.
But it's still a matter of fact that the person who stole all of your accomplishments and continued to push you out of the way, finally got you into a cell.
Yeah.
And so, with that said, what is Ambo doing? How did you even? Are you thinking about how you got placed in jail? Are you thinking about what is Ambo thinking about?
So one of the strongest memories that I'm holding on to right now is right before I went into jail, as I was being dragged away by the Corp police, the Corp police robots. All I saw was a billboard of my brother Marcus Estrada, and it's just him laughing. In the billboard, it's just like, ha ha ha, come to the seventh ring, and it's just an ad for him. It's just laughing at me, and it's something that I've like always held on to, and so I've focused my entire time. Which, in Duende years, you're right, it's not that long. It's more of like 6 months, but it's still enough time for me to be really upset about it. But right now, can I build some gadgets for the final fight?
I mean, you can call it the final fight. It doesn't mean it's going to be a final fight. Just saying, but you can.
In my head, it is.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
In my head.
Just say I was saying like we got 2 more episodes, dude. We got a lot of we got episodes scheduled.
Ambo is just thinking of right now.
Yeah.
Ambo doesn't know anything that's going to be happening yet. So I know Luzon.
I think that's fair for you to think that this is also your last, the last fight you need to be in, right? Like once you kill Marcos Estrada, once you end him or whatever, like you can assume what you need to assume, or it'll just be done. Like all of it will be finished.
We kill Marcos tonight, and then we spend 2 episodes tickling Ambo's little belly button.
No, don't tickle my little tummy, please. I'm gonna turn into Marcos Estrada if you do that. Yes, but yeah, right now, I'd like to. What I'm testing out right now are grenades.
Okay.
So I'm trying to skip grenades. I'm trying to skip grenades in the water. But you said Donkeytron is with Little, right?
Yeah. But
how about Diddytron?
Oh, Diddytron. Oh, we forgot about
Diddytron, my little monkey robot.
The one that you made, the terrible guy.
The inferior copy.
Terrible.
What was his voice? I'll go back. You know what, chat? You can roast me about it. I don't remember Diddytron's voice exactly, other than it was being obnoxious. So we'll see what that is. What do you want to do with Diddytron?
Well, I want to strip Diddytron for parts because Diddytron is pretty they're pretty mean. They're really really specious. So I want to strip them for parts. Can I also get like a message from Alien, since Alien's scouting ahead of the blueprints?
Absolutely, you can definitely. I think Alien, through your walkie, even on your way back, as soon as you're like walking. Well, it might have been like a slick heist move as you were walking through the floor to take your walkie out and shoot some photos of the blueprints as you were walking around. You
so I know the tubes there.
You know the systems. You've gathered a little bit of understanding about the pneumatic tubes, and as you're you crouching up, you see Diddytron on an edge. You understand you have to grab him and turn him off before you could do anything. It's just going to be easier that way. But in order to do that, you have to surprise him, and you see him just sitting on this like bush, looking down at. In his like sort of hoppy monkey form, he sees some like nature has begun to reclaim in this forest. It's not much, but as you're looking down, you begin to see like some little worms begin to dig up out of the earth and sort of claw around. And you see Diddytron look at these worms and go, "What are you, fucking worms? Look at these worms! They're the worst. Worms. I hate worms."
This is such a good voice.
Sorry, it instantly ruined my throat. I need a little bit more water, and then I'll be able to continue. worms, ah! And he starts hopping down and like picking up worms and like biting them. Yeah, they taste awful, dude. Ah, worms are the worst. What are you gonna do, worms? Feed some birds? There's no birds, worms! And he's just going on and on about these worms. And Ambo, you stealthily raise your hammer and in a single moment, thinking of Lenny, smash it on his head. And he crushes underneath your blow, and you now have the corpse of Diddytron.
Great. Fantastic. I think I could use some of his parts to like grease us up so we could go up the tubes.
Oh, so you had a purpose in his murder. I thought you were just like getting rid of something terrible. Okay. So
no.
Okay. You
No.
recycle Diddytron.
Yeah. I always recycle my tools and parts. If I don't want them anymore, I break them apart and I create new ones.
Right.
I could create another Diddytron if I want, a tinier Diddytron.
It might be better. Give it a shot.
Yeah, maybe later.
Yeah,
I will see what the group says. I'll see what the group says.
Yeah.
Maybe if the little god isn't all that great, maybe the Diddytron that I can create could be the.
Yeah.
I don't know. I will have to ask Izzy about it. But yeah, I'm toying with grenades, and I guess I feel Luzon's presence behind me, wanting to talk to me.
Hey, Ambo! Owen!
You're just skipping some grenades. Why? What's up?
Yeah, no, nothing. Just saw you kill your own creation in cold blood. No second thought. So just wanted to know how you were doing. Super normal stuff.
Robots don't have blood, Luzon. Robots don't have blood, and
in cold circuitry. Sorry, my bad.
Cold circuitry, sure, yeah, but I needed his parts so I could make these grenades. As you can see here, it's a pile of grenades. I also need some of his fluids so that we could grease ourselves up and shoot up the tube. So, yeah.
That sounds
yeah, so I'm going to continue building this unless you need something. Do you?
How are you emotionally doing?
Oh my God. I'm okay. We're about to kill my brother, so I think I'm okay given the circumstance. Hey, do you want to toss around this grenade with me?
Yeah, let's just toss around the grenade while we talk about your feelings. So, like, you and your brother, like, where did this all come from?
Could I do that?
Why do you all tempt me with such like I want to give you guys consequences for your decisions, but I feel like making a grenade explode while you're playing catch is too extreme.
But Masood, I was making a weak move. Because that's one of my in the kit. It says that to tinker with something with great consequence is a weak move. So
I love this. Perfect. And so
it was also distrusting someone at the worst time for catching a grenade.
So you guys are perfect.
Right?
Thank you. And I will take it from here as to what happens with the grenade. Okay. You guys start playing catch. And I need you to act this out. I need object work, and I need to see this motion, because at some point I need to know where it is when it explodes.
Okay.
And I have a conversation. I may or may not have started a random timer to indicate.
Could I also hit it with my hammer too? Like,
you can choose to react once it begins, but I'm putting a timer down, and begin chatting, guys. Just go ahead.
Just so you know, Harrison, one of my weak moves is to hurt someone and something important to you. I'm just gonna let that one sit. So anyways, where did all of this emotional issues with your brother come from?
Well, it all started when we were children, little duendes, and we were little duendes, and he was always the taller duende. He's 5'7", I'm 4'10". That's really tall in duende world.
Object work.
He was a lot handsomer than I was, although I am way more intelligent and I'm way more artistic than he is, but you could say I was the black carabao of the family.
Oh, I don't understand anything about that at all. I'm sorry, I know so little about duendes. I'm really more of a,
Well, do you have any siblings?
I have tons. Yeah, we don't have families. We kind of just pile up, like I've mentioned before. So, you know.
Well, were you the best sibling? Did your parents love you the most?
I absorbed some of my weaker siblings. Yeah, so I would definitely say I was probably one of the better Dawatas for sure.
Well, you don't know how it feels then. I feel almost invisible. I feel like nothing I'll ever do will live up to what my brother is. He wanted to hire me as his assistant for the building cult. Can you believe that?
Well, I mean, that's still nepotism, so that's still something.
No, but I designed everything, okay? I designed everything. I built everything. I taught him everything that he knows. I may be the younger brother and shorter brother, but I am the true CEO of the building cult.
This sounds like a business issue. Did you guys not have like a good contract before you started?
Duendes aren't good with contracts, okay? That's more of a, I don't know, a San Telmo thing. I'm not sure. We don't.
You literally build things for that's your role. Are you saying that you don't
Yeah, but
have
we
like
don't.
any kind of contract like clauses?
Have you ever
or
asked
anything?
And you
I
hear,
didn't have it before.
You hear that beeping go off, and you both stop. And as you look and try to find out where that sound is coming from, you see the grenade in the air move, and you hear the beeping, and the beeping, its sound is remaining constant. It's not moving, and you both look to your right to the pile of the grenades, and you see somehow a rock in your shuffle back and forth has kicked one of the ones on the bottom and activated it. And so the entire pile of the grenades begins to go off behind you. What do you do?
I start running, and I just pick up Ambo beneath my arm. We're both short, so this is real awkward. And I'm just running down the sand, going, "We gotta go, Ambo! We gotta go!"
Oh,
Do we
They
have any of
both
those acid?
died.
No.
Do we have any of those acid umbrellas left?
I don't know if you have them on you, but this is. Did you guys begin running? You jump out of the way, making it through the clearing as the explosion goes off behind you, leveling the field that Ambo was working in. His former hill, now a crater in what remains of all his previous tools and devices. What's crazy? Yeah, Ambo definitely gets a token, and so does Luzon for these actions. Is that the main thing that gave you used a small portion of the power source in Diddytron to make an explosive charge for all of these different grenades, which were powerful among themselves. But for them to go off on top of one another in a chain reaction, it is awful. And as the dust settles, you all look at the debris and you hear punk, and landing in front of you is the grenade that you guys were tossing back and forth. Guess it's a dud. And so you guys do all of your prep, and you come back together before the next day. What does it look like as you guys begin your approach? Actually, I would love for this. Can you do? I don't directly ask you all of this, and I feel bad as a GM, but I want to. I would love for you all to role play the sharing of information. Role play to me what it was like as you guys distribute a lot of this information back and forth, and you can for large chunks of things you can say, well, I tell them about this, and then I end it saying this, so we can sort of like get around. But I'd love to just like get a little bit more of that interplayer dynamic. So yeah, take me there.
So before you guys say anything, I just want to point out that everybody makes mistakes, and that mistakes are not what defines us. It's how we deal with the aftermath of those mistakes and the friendships and the unshakable bonds between us. That's what defines us.
Luzon,
Oh.
only some gods are forgiving, okay? Not all of them. What happened exactly?
Ambo,
My house, my little tiny hill is destroyed.
Ambo may have killed Diddytron for fun, and then used all of his parts to make a grenade. And then we may have the grenades just went off, and nobody knows what happened, and it's just life. And so, what's important is that we don't know if Donkeytron is alive, and we don't have all of our tools. And most importantly, Ambo is homeless now.
Wait a second. We're going up against Ambo's brother, and Ambo doesn't have his tools?
I have my hammer. I still have my hammer.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I did not say that all your tools were gone. I just said your
Okay.
hill was
No,
destroyed and
no.
everything that was in it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, no, I still have my hammer, so I could still work. But my bed, my house, my little house, all my food, all my little trinkets, it's all gone. I have nothing to my name except for this hammer right now.
And us.
I'm sorry, Ambo. I'm sorry, man.
It was my fault. It was my fault. I shouldn't have been playing catch grenades with Luzon here.
You guys are playing catch grenades?
Yeah. You never played catch grenades before?
Playing catch grenades.
Yeah. It's a famous Duende sport.
Okay.
Mr. Ferryman shimmers into existence from the underworld, returning to the land of the living, like, "Ah!" And he comes back and he says, "It's true. There's a lot of duendes in the underworld who got there by playing catch grenade. Anyways, I had a super productive night,
I like
everybody."
that the game isn't throw the grenade; it's catch the grenade. I really.
It wouldn't be fun if you were just throwing it at a field. You gotta be throwing it into somebody else.
He used his hammer to hit the grenade, so I'm not even sure it was catch, honestly.
I got it. It's like a little lacrosse hammer.
Yeah, it's an advanced catch grenade skill. Is actually using instruments and tools along. It's a rich tapestry of history.
You know this is gonna come back later.
Oh,
somebody's gonna throw a grenade and
If you want to reuse that bit, I'll throw it at you. I'll throw as many grenades as I can, and we'll see what happens. But
I think we should.
I'll step away. And so Mr. Ferryman phases back into existence, describing a little bit about the duende that you've seen in Sulad. Where does the conversation go upon your arrival?
I share the information that I overheard at O'Flanagan's, was that it? And
McFarnigan's.
McFarnigan's.
Yeah.
Okay. So I tell them that we may have an inn on the 25th floor of the building with one Judas Winterbottom. I say it just like that.
Perfect. And I imagine the mentioning of the 26th floor might have an opportunity for Alien, you to discuss a little bit of your prep.
Yes, I went to the building today, and let me tell you, those workers, they need better benefits, first off. Ambo, you should really talk to your brother. If he survives this, if you take over, make sure the employees are better taken care of. Anyway.
Sure, I'll put it on the list.
That doesn't sound like you will. And I just need you to know that workers' rights are really important to me. Moving on, though, I only made it up to the 17th floor because the rest of the floors. Wait, 18th, 17th?
17th floor, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. The 17th floor where they were working on the blueprints. Mm-hmm. All the blueprints were boring because they don't have any creativity there. Anyway. So, there have these, what are they called? Pneumatic?
Yeah, pneumatic tubes.
Pneumatic tubes that they use to send information between floors, and they also have these robo dogs, and there's a lot of security cameras, and a lot of
Just
security people. Yes, guards.
armed personnel. Yeah.
Yes.
Mr. Ferryman turns to Alien and says, "You're kidding."
I'm not kidding.
There's a lot of security people.
Yeah, a lot of security people and a lot of guards.
But wait,
feel
I
like-
have good news on that. I went into the woods and I killed the little god of corporate values. So
What?
everybody who works in that building now is going to be disillusioned and less connected to their work.
They're gonna start thinking about the fact that their company made like $3 trillion and only donated like 200,000 to charity.
Right, and it was just for the tax write-off, wasn't it?
Great. So seems like we're in agreement.
So you share the instability that Erica has provided by murdering this little god. You talk about the blueprints and the setup of the way that the building's established. Luzon and Ambo, you guys sort of digest this information best way that you can now put yourself into, use it to your advantage.
Mr. Ferryman wants to chime in, and he says, so just to recap, I went into the lion's den of a ton of employees, and I put my life on the line to overhear crucial, pertinent information. Alien did one better, went in disguise, and actually went inside the jaws of the lion, the building where we're going. Izzy killed a god for this, and Luzon and Ambo were playing catch with a grenade.
Yeah, what the heck?
Yeah, guys, that
the heck,
feels a
guys?
little weak. Donkeytron pops around the tree trunk.
You know, hold on, Donkeytron. Can I turn Donkeytron into more grenades, please?
Oh, you better try it, Buster. Just give it a shot.
I don't
Oh.
think the problem is more grenades.
Donkeytron
Okay,
is close to having a soul. You can't do it.
All right, okay, fine. Yes, all of you did something really important. Yeah, but so did we, right? Luzon, we became better friends. And friendship is
Yes,
what you
we-
taught us.
Also learned a lot about why duendes are super short and that they have a lot of family strife issues, and for some reason they don't have a contract before they actually build anything, locking into terms and conditions, which honestly, as a builder and a contractor, that seems kind of crazy, but you know.
That seems like it was very productive, but right now I'm looking at Ambo, and he's covered in soot from head to toe with his hair all crazy, shot out all over the place, because he got blown up by a bunch of grenades.
You could also just ask me for information, because he is my brother, and I know a lot of people that go to McFlanagan's. Is that where you went?
McFarnigan's, guys.
McFarnigan's.
McFlanagan's is on the other side of town.
Well, McFlartigan's, yeah. Well, I've been there many a times, okay? What room did you go into?
I was on the VIP balcony.
Oh, VIP. Really? There are multiple VIP balconies. Did you go to the dungeon VIP balcony?
I didn't know there was a dungeon.
Yeah, that's right. You're with the director level. You're at the director level. Yeah,
Well-
so,
Sorry, this org chart, it's VP and then dungeon.
no, yeah, director. The VPs are in the dungeon.
Okay, just I wanted
Yeah.
to.
Go beneath, yeah.
Yeah.
I'd like to
Yeah.
reiterate, there is no way I will feel bad about this, because even if I didn't get the right information at McFartigan's, I did not play catch with a grenade.
You also gave birth and helped us introduce a character called Judas Windsor-Bottom, who at some point will come into play in our story. And as you guys spend your evening debating who did the most and who did the least, I mean, it's clear to see who's on which side, and honestly, both sides feels like they're right. But as you guys go,
It's clear who's right. It's clear who's right.
Donkeytron is like,
really
it's
what's
very
right.
clear. And as you guys go to bed and get ready the next day, we are just going to do a little time skip. And we jump to our camera, pans out of this argument, sound fading, to the next day, moving down to you all standing in an alley, Scooby-Doo style, head above one another, in a totem pole, looking at these, what's called the Building Cult's main headquarters, their HQ. And as you all gaze, first off, super important information. What is the totem pole? What's the order of operations here? What does it look like? For the Scooby-Doo stacking around the corner, I need to know what does the totem pole look like?
I think Ambo's on the bottom.
Right.
Yeah, and then I'm one above Ambo because he's in the baby Bjorn I have. And he's on my shelf.
I like that. Yeah.
I'm right there in the middle.
There you go.
Okay, I'm one above Izzy.
Mm-hmm. And then
I'm at the top.
leaning over, looking at everybody. And as you guys, you guys are taking it in, looking adorable. The camera looks at you all so cute, excited, ready with your weapons and stuff. And they see your faces as you all process what you're looking at in the building in front of you. And then as we hear the sound come in a little bit more, we hear screaming, someone going, "My leg! Ah!" And smoke begins to billow out from the front towards you all as you turn and see the building cult's the building raging with fire and smoke pouring out of different pockets. It is chaos. The workers have revolted. Erica, you realize that without the little god of corporate, like, good and laws and rights, that nothing was tying to these folks to their desk. And suddenly, as if in one brilliant moment, it all snapped on everybody's floor in the middle of the night, that this doesn't make any sense. But unfortunately, in the chaos, it has divulged into a little bit of, let's say, a Lord of the Flies situation. And unfortunately, you're going to have to make your way to the top floor if you want to finish it. So as you guys gather and see the smoke billowing out, a man who's like fancy new age, like, I don't know how to describe it, but like, it's like a tunic shirt. It's like longer than a normal like t-shirt, but it goes up. It's long sleeve. It's got a collar. It's got a lapel. You see him running out, arms up, back on fire as he runs out of the building. We just have to make sure we describe his clothes before we describe what they were on fire. And he jumps into a bush to stop, drop, and roll. And you hear the sound of gunfire going off in the building as the security personnel are trying to put the situation into its place. And we see our group gazing at this all, thinking about their next move. And that's where we're going to cut to break, actually. Because looking at the time, it is the time for our bio break. And, I love to leave an audience wanting some more. And so with that, we're going to go to break. We'll be... And we're back. Thank you for waiting on break for us.
Baby.
We're back. Balikbayan returning home. Last we left off, we had just encountered the state of affairs at the building cult's headquarters. All 30 floors, well, at least the first 25 floors seem to be in some sort of disarray from the outside, as you see windows broken and glass raining and littering out. It's actually more noticeable as you're looking from the outside, the state of chaos going up. The lower floors clearly have more visual damage, but as you go up, you see less and less sort of debris poking out. And then the last 5 floors seem to be completely devoid of it. So I'm going to hand over the reins to you all a little bit to do a little bit of that co-op narrative. What is it? I want you to describe, I'm going to describe what it looks like on the first floor when you enter, and I want you all to tell me what you all then do. As you pull into the... sorry, did I cut you off?
Well, I just wanted to say, before we go in and we're all heads stacked up watching this thing occur, I want to look at everyone and be like, you guys, I promise, it wasn't like this yesterday at all. That's it. That's it.
Does Izzy inform folks that this might be somewhat related to the destruction of the little god?
We don't know what the cause is yet. We just saw what's going on. Izzy's not going to take credit until it's due.
Mr. Ferryman taps into the underworld, rolls his eyes back into his head for a little bit, and then snaps them back and says, 38 people have died in the last 4 minutes here.
Izzy, sensing that it might be her fault, goes,
Cartoon.
You see a guy also on fire coming out, looks real Rodney Dangerfield. I got no respect. And so as you guys
do that more. That's a good impression.
that's spot on. I think that's good. I think for a man having not heard Rodney Dangerfield's voice since, so I'm trying to remember what it sounds like in my head. That's the thing. If I can give me an audio clip, I'll turn this thing into a sound generator. No respect. Yeah, that's close. That's close enough. That's what you guys get. So you guys begin to walk in to the front door, and you sort of walk your way through the door. I was gonna say the door's open. They're cracked shut. They don't shut anymore. They're sort of sputtering in their space. And as you all walk in, you see what used to be a very beautiful lobby that you witnessed yesterday. Now, in various scenes of disarray. There's some blood stains on the floor. You see what looks to be like. If you were to play it back, it would look like someone's hands digging across a pole as something grabbed them and pulled them. You see some security personnel cluttered on the ground, their bodies stripped of their weapons, but clearly their uniforms and lapels remain on, perhaps to folks to know, to designate who was murdered and what the victor gained. And as you sort of make your way stepping across this, you sort of arrive at, you step over the security swipers, and you arrive at the grand escalators, the ones that led to the elevator that you took yesterday. Like any building, for whatever reason, for any major corporation, they have an entry lobby, and then you take escalators to the elevator. I don't fucking get it. So, but this building is exactly the same. And so you are getting to these escalators, and you hear someone from above sound, "Halt! Who dares to enter my building?" And Alien, you look and you see that security guard from before that was sitting at the desk, standing up above the escalators, somehow with his abilities turned them off, and is gazing down with what appears to be it's hard to describe, but it looks almost like a rebar pipe from one of the walls had been ripped out, and a long shard of glass is like strapped to the top of it to make this like spear. And as he looks at you, haggard and bewildered, you see eyes wide, face covered in dirt and debris of other kinds, shirt ripped, gazing down at you all. What do y'all do?
I turn to Luzon. I say, "We don't have time for this. It's his time to go. I'm gonna activate your lure and ask you to wreak havoc and just incinerate this dude."
Wreak havoc? Wreak havoc? Did someone just say wreak havoc? I immediately hulk out into my elemental form, and I use my water arm, and I smash down that dude right there.
No. And he's instantly crushed under this tidal wave. And you see the force of it so hard. It actually breaks through, because once again, these escalators serve absolutely no purpose. You see just him like fall through on the other side underneath the escalator, and absolutely crushed by the water, flattening. And yeah. What do y'all do now? Because this guy's not a threat to you. May or may not be alive. You could check if you want. I don't know if you guys want. It's up to you.
Can we take his badge?
You could, if you can go. You can go and try and grab his badge.
I
Okay.
take my hand that's fire and I just dangle the badge a little bit and I just hang it. I just give it to Ambo.
The guy's dead. He's dead. He's dead. You killed him. He's 100% dead. And so you pull out this flaming emblem, the badge that you're using in Alien. You recognize it was like the one that you had yesterday, the security pass. And you guys make your way through. Luzon, you're still hulked out and in this rage form. And I want to let you get some use out of it. So I'm going to ask you to roll me a d20. And that's how many floors are not an issue for you all as Luzon clears their way through.
Ooh.
Okay, so you want me to roll a d20?
Roll a d20 for me.
All right.
What'd you get?
I got a 14.
You got a 14. So you all watch as Luzon, you try to make your way to the elevators themselves, but realize that they have been snipped from above as you look into the actual shafts and see them descending below. But you look and you follow a lot of the path that the debris and some of the bloodstains before you have that have been left behind, and see the service staircase. And in doing so, you push your way through and begin to follow Luzon charging in their full form, all of these elementals combining into one as they're now acting as a front shield for what is the security's last line of defense. You see all the forces in the building have situated themselves in the one place where they can control how this riot is going to progress, and that is this staircase. Now that the the elevator's out of commission, the only way up or down is through here, and it being regimented by the security forces is pretty is how they're only going to control it. And it's easy getting in on the first floor because you take the one guard who's there by surprise. Obviously, the dude on the other side was at the top of the escalator was the first sort of guardian, sort of intimidation. And as you crush this other dude, sort of busting in, with your shoulder on fire, sort of pushing him into the wall itself, you begin to bound up the stairs 4 at a time. And on doing so, as you sort of round it up, you make your way past the first floor. On the second floor, you see more guys waiting, and then you get through them, and you all are just trailing behind Luzon as these bodies on this square, because like any building and the service staircase is a large square with the pit in the middle. You guys sort of make this large square up, and you see Luzon just dropping different security guards just down into the pit over and over again. And as you guys climb and make your way up, Luzon, you lose energy at the 14th floor, and you all have to duck in there because you can't handle the onslaught of what's coming at you. What does that look like? That's your framing. What does it look like as Luzon sort of reaches the edge of their limit after using this ability to wreak havoc along their way?
Hey guys, it's been a while since I've done one of these, so we might want to just.
Know what happened?
I could keep doing this all day. I really could, but for your guys' sake, we might want to just rest for a little bit because the old firearm, it's just a wow. Look, what a nice place to just for you to rest.
Can I just say, it's been a long time too since I've taken the stairs the whole way up these 14 floors. I could also just take a freaking little break.
That's what this is for Saint. This is for Saint. So we got it for Izzy. So we got it.
Yeah. Well, I'm not tired at all. Mr. Fairman, could you take me out of this little baby Bjorn real quick? I need to stretch my little legs.
Why do you want to get out of the little baby Bjorn? You know the rules.
I gotta stretch out my little legs here.
Give me a good. I'll stretch them, and I reach back and I massage your little legs. I'm worried about you going nuts.
and I'm hanging backwards. I'm hanging backwards, and yes, this feels nice. Well, great job, Luzon. What floor are we on right now?
You are on the what's it called?
14th?
You're on the 14th floor as you guys bust out of the doorway, entering into this hallway after hearing a series of lasers and gunfire shooting at you. As security's taking their shots at you all, and you duck in and shut the door. I did this thing on Zoom where I can share audio, so I'm using a little more sound effects to do a little more like production polish. Don't tell my boss. But you guys...
yeah, you should see if you can get Rodney Dangerfield clips to use next time.
How dare you, sir? How dare you?
Hey, can we get a sound of an escalator?
Yeah.
More screams.
Yeah, more screams. So you guys bust into the 14th floor. What floor is this for the building corp? We know the 17th is where they handle blueprints, but what is this floor? What happens in the building? What job do these people do?
This is the office gym. On the 14th floor,
It's
to get to, as well as the lower floors.
I like that. So this is like where this is the one floor that everyone's access card does get them access to. But even within the building cult, like there's cliques, floor-based. There's a floor-based clique, right? Like, 13s only hang out with 13s. Gym rats hang out with everybody, but the gym rat hierarchy is its own situation where it's all about influence and how much weight you're racking up. And so you guys sort of make... Ben, don't get ahead of yourself. You're going to see it. And you all make your way into the gym floor, making your way down, and you just see the sound of a... We would know it as a bass... Well, I can do it. Why do I need to make any sound effects anymore when I have a computer in front of me? Dribbling. One last second. Perfect. Hear the sound echoing down the hallway as you make your way closer and closer. And as you are getting in, you hear like just shoves and as you make your way through round the edge into the bright light as it gives way to some dude dunks on a actual like hoop that they have set up, but as they do, they land on an employee within the building beneath them, and you see the dude lands on him with his knee and brings him down before twisting and standing up, and you see an announcer go, "And the winner of this death basketball match is employee 456739." And you see the one who just like stands up. 3 weeks of PTO! And he gets escorted out. And as you see these groups gathered, you look up at the top of the this entry, and you see just crowds of individuals looking down on this basketball court. You see the way that's sort of situated, you're in almost risers and bleachers that are sitting above this situation. And because that's where the staircase led out on the 14th floor, you guys make your way in and look down, and you see standing in their own private box within this sports arena that somehow exists in the middle of this building is none other than Judas Winterbottom. Of course, you couldn't tell from his original form, but with all the muscle enhancements and cybernetic controls in his body, this dude is yoked. And he has no reason, being as jacked as he is. He's standing there with his shirt off, real Superman chest, like a straight up trapezoid with... Is that Is that a 24 pack? How is that possible? And you see him standing above and looking down at this group and says, Yeah, bro. That last match was great. That was real good. I like the ending. Real energy. Dude's totally getting vibe for the next promotion. Let's see what these next candidates have to offer. Bring them on in, bro. And you see two individuals dragged and thrown to the ground on the floor. And you look over and you see a team of around 6 employees dressed in their garments step forward and get situated. And you hear as the announcer goes, once again, with Death Basketball, you must win and your enemy must die. So score more points and kill the other guy in order to win.
Sorry, to clarify, this sport is called Death Basketball.
It's just a death match with 2 basketball hoops set up. So, like, it's...
Okay, so
Basketball.
Yeah, but do all like the basketball rules still?
Guys, you got the rules.
Like
you
a
have to
rugby?
win
Okay.
and kill your opponent. So, I don't know
is
what
this
else you want.
is this like
What
a
if you just kill your opponent?
yeah?
You're
Is this
stuck
like a
away?
Harry Potter snitch scenario? Like, why wouldn't you just want to kill your opponent right away?
Yeah.
I take my
That's-
firearm and I just punch both of those people out.
Yes.
Did you score any points?
So from where you all are in the stands, you reach down and you punch those 2 individuals. And I was gonna say, are you sure you want to do that? But you said it, so it's like chess. Your fingers left the move. And you pull your fist back, and you get a better look at the 2 individuals who are set to face off against the 5. You don't recognize them, but Mr. Ferryman, you clock one of them. One of them is the valet that Luzon just straight up punched on the ground. Hands bound, feet sort of tied, struggling to stand up. The other one, alien, you recognize. It's Alan. Alan's clearly been made as a traitor to the Corp, probably because the dude that you were facing against did not die, and let out the fact that, surprisingly, the person that I was attacking has the exact same set of abilities as Alan over here. And in doing so, as you all are situated, you look the other 5 employees gaze up at you all, shout, yeah, and begin to draw weapons of their own, made from various assortments of tools and I'd say building supplies that they have lying around. You see one person's got a nunchuck stapler built together out of a series of paper clips. Somehow it's holding its integrity. You see another individual just has got the microwave underneath an arm attached to a generator that they're just taking with them, and a backpack underneath another arm loaded with just leftover rotten food and metal spoons and forks that they're begin to chuck in it and close the door getting ready. And so these 5 individuals begin to close on the 2 people in the group who 2 of your folks have bonds with.
My bad, guys. This might have been on me.
Does anyone have any water?
Luzon's kind of made of water. Right?
Yeah, do you want like a pinky or something?
No, something to put yourself out with.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you're blowing it for us.
My bad, guys.
And so
This never happens.
And you see those 5 individuals getting closer and closer to Alan and Mr. Ferryman. You see, sorry, not Mr. Ferryman, the valet. The valet looks at the group above, sees Mr. Ferryman. You see a sigh of relief. Because here's the thing about about the valet is he knew that his time also was tied on 2 different moments. It was either this day, right here, right now, or was at some point in the future unbound. But here he is, clearly tied and struggling to get out. Alan and the valet work together to unbind each other as they stand and get ready to deal with this onslaught, as these 5 employees within this building company get situated. The first one to come close is the nunchuck stapler wielding employee, and they start whipping them around and start trying to cut across, and Alan in front, not even transforming it, is effortlessly blocking and moving sort of their hands away, just ducking and as if anticipating their actions, a natural fighter, and is able to eventually quickly subdue and knock out the first one coming at them. The valet sees this sort of fight and sees the other individual with the microwave loading stuff up and says, "Oh, no. This suit is far too expensive for you to ruin in that way," and rolls up his sleeves and puts up his dukes, and then in a way that seems surprising, is instantly in front of the guy with the microwave and does boom boom and knocks him out flat. And you see the other 3 get a little nervous as they see 2 of their numbers quickly drop almost by 50%. And you begin to understand that the valet and Alan aren't going on without a fight. And then you hear Judas Winterbottom. "Oh, this is gnarly, man. This is going to be a real sick bout, but I don't know. I feel like we got to even these odds a little bit. You know what?" He claps the floor and claps his hands, and gates begin to rise from the side of the actual basketball court, and more employees begin to pull in. "How about this? First person to kill both of them? How about this? One of you kills one of them, you get the 25th floor. One of you kills both of them, you can get the 26th. And you see the color drain on Alan and the valet's face as they look at what appears to be roughly 30 to 40 to 50. It's so many people, just truly dozens at this point, as they begin to crowd in. What do y'all want to do?
Sorry, no, please, Izzy, go.
Izzy says, "Hey team, let's suit up," and then tosses jerseys at everybody. She's just been in the locker room. She jimmied a lock and has gotten uniforms for everybody.
I'm not even gonna do any question about this. Yes, absolutely. They fit you all perfectly. Everyone
even
down there,
mine?
Even yours. They have Duende who work at the building called almost exclusively sometimes. There's a Duende floor, and you get all yourself situated. Okay. You look down, and what color? You could either be red or blue, and it just so happened to be perfect that you all have the same matching color, and the other group has the other matching color. What color are your jerseys? Are they red or blue?
They're
Red.
They're blue.
Blue. They're blue.
They're blue.
Confirm
it. They're blue.
No,
So you
they're
see
blue.
your blue jerseys on, and you see the valet and Alan have been forced to almost put these blue jerseys on as well, and they're like real basketball jerseys with the true it looks like a tank top sort of situation. And you see building cult dodgeball league of 2346 on it, and so you guys put on your tank tops and your jerseys and begin hop over the risers of this little bleacher setup and drop onto the... Do you all drop onto the down floor? I don't want to throw you into the mix if you have plans from above, but...
Well, how many... Are any of us benched right now? Or
Yeah, are we all
Is
on?
John benched?
Guys,
Wait,
I-
Because
are
there's
we
5
playing
people.
or are we fighting?
we're playing death basketball.
You're playing death basketball.
Yeah.
And so...
40 other people?
Yeah. I mean, you're on the blue team. They're on the red team. They just have
So I
to...
guess if they have
They
40
just have to win or kill you. That's the way death basketball works.
Okay.
Masood, can I, before I jump down there, scan the other team and and see if there's maybe one who is significantly more competent at basketball, either that or one who is significantly tougher and more deadly seeming than the rest of the team.
Absolutely. You can definitely do what like a gaze and assessment of your competition. As you look down, you see an individual in the back that like is almost Judas yoked, like almost as big as, like, he's clearly here, and you look at his eyes. He's got his headband on, he's bald, and you look at them and you see their eyes. Just like they just look like a murderer. They just have like a murderer gaze, and like they're just intently staring at the two individuals there, just like.
Okay.
Wait, you asked me also if there was anyone really, really good at basketball. You look around the group and you see a dude with, you see this woman who's got a rack of balls behind her, and she's sort of just standing, taking, going around the bend, going around, just a whole horseshoe, gets to the edge, kicks over the cart so all the balls go in the air, and then begins to start doing a Harlem Globetrotters movement of rolling one ball around the end and popping it off her arm to go into the hoop, doing it with all of them as they come across, and then eventually doing a little bit of soccer moves, dribbling occasionally, bouncing it off their head before tossing it in with their elbow. This woman is the king of all sports. She rules.
Leslie.
Leslie dominates every sport that happened at the building cult, every league, every recreational event. They came in first or were on the winning team. They love death basketball.
I want to talk some smack to her.
What do you say to Leslie as she does a full like pre-NBA workout routine, not missing a single shot along the way?
You probably wanted to be so good at sports because you felt like you had something to prove, because you probably never had the love and approval of your parents. So you thought maybe if you got really good at sports, they'd pay attention to you. And how'd that work out for you, Leslie?
Oh, you're gonna be my first kill. And
have we?
I thought that would go. I was hoping it would be like when I talked smack to.
Well, why don't you try talking smack to the big tough guy? You know, you talk smack to this athlete, now maybe to the big tough guy, see how it works out.
All smack talked out. Okay, what is this guy's deal?
We'll get back to, because I think you're entering the fray. So you all jump in, you talk smack to Leslie as you see them. There's still a whole plethora of individuals around you, but between your bonds, the valet and Alan, you see yourselves landing in a semicircle perfectly, all doing the cool hero pose where you land on a knee and then you stand up and you rise and the camera spins around Michael Bay style. And we see everyone around you. Michael Bay does camera spins. That's what he does.
Right.
That's okay.
And so the camera spins around you all as you rise to your feet. Behind you exist the bonds, as I mentioned, and we see just the score and scores of individuals, a part of the building cult, particularly this gym rat environment, who are here to mess you all up and to play some death basketball. And so you see Leslie goes, all right, time to whip this team into shape. First draft, go! And begins to call out the first circle around you all forward. And
can I just say real quick that this is a huge missed opportunity to not call this casketball?
honestly, I was like Deathskeball? No, that's
I was thinking death and basketball.
Death
love
and basketball. That's good. You know what? I love it. I appreciate it. I'm gonna take these notes, and when you all GM your game, you can use it.
Oh my god.
It's death basketball, okay? I said it, and it is. No, so you guys are playing death and basketball. You're playing basketball here. It goes colloquially by a lot of different names. You know, it's a very common sport in 2347. And so you guys are in the middle of this competition, and you see the first wave of individuals come at you, and these folks aren't even playing basketball. They've got their lacrosse sticks up and ready, and it's a series of 6 of them just sort of swiveling back and forth, doing that thing that stupid lacrosse players do, and they raise up and start hucking lacrosse balls at you, closing distance. What do you all do?
Could we ask Mr. Ferryman if any of them are going to die yet? Doesn't he know when everybody's going to die?
No, I have to seek it out. I have to like do a ritual to figure out when somebody's gonna die. I've never met these people before.
Yeah.
So.
Oh man.
You do know that either the valet dies right here, like today, or he doesn't. So there's a comfort in that.
So
Sorry, go ahead.
I'm just going to draw my broadsword and just start deflecting these lacrosse balls.
You deflect the lacrosse balls as they're closing distance with you, and you run forward to embrace this onslaught of individuals. And these guys come up with their lacrosse sticks, and they charge and reach up, and your sword cleaves through them. They're lacrosse. You have a sword, and you literally cleave these like 6 dudes in twain with your broadsword. And you see Leslie looks a little. Oh. Wait, so they're allowed to use like weapons? We're just using like sports equipment. What is? You see like guys like with like medicine balls like ready to like chuck them, or like wait what? And like you look at Judas who's standing up there, and he's like, guys, you know the rules of death and basketball, or casketball as we say over on the West Coast. It's either win or kill your opponent, man. I thought I explained this in my demo match. Oh, and you see Judas step forward and just walk off, and as he plummets straight to the ground, lands standing, and you see dust and movement shift out, and he stands there perfectly and pulls out a massive katana from his side and readies it and says, looks like the MVP has to play. And begins to rush forward and clash with Izzy in a swordsman's duel. As Judas and Izzy are caught up in a sword battle taking place somewhere around half court. What happens to the rest of y'all as now this becomes a full-out throng, as the collection of sports gym rats from this the cult within the building cult begins to close in around you? And also, I'm going to say, Asura, feel free to give actions and decide what Alan does. I'm going to say as your bond, you can sort of dictate how they move in this space. And the same thing goes for you, Ben, for the valet. As you're occupying and moving about, if you want them to do something pretty insane, go for it. Here's what you know about Alan. They have everything that you could do, Asura. So it's just in mind they don't have daggers that complement them. Keep that in mind. But they can do everything that you can do. And Mr. Ferryman, the valet is a very accomplished boxer, like phenomenally so. And with the enhancement upgrades that he has, it looks like he's teleporting. He's just moving very fast. He can move short distances very quickly to close gaps of roughly, let's say, about like 15 feet. He can close a 15 feet gap truly in the blink of an eye. But like that's only as fast as he can like sort of accelerate for. And so you all with this access and this knowledge hear as the swarm of gym bros and gals and non-binary folks beginning to close in on you from all directions. Yeah, give me a little montage of what this looks like, and I'll describe who's left at the end.
Mr. Ferryman, could you launch me up onto the backboard so I could sit on the backboard?
Yeah. I do my best to throw Ambo up onto the I mean at the backboard, I guess.
Granny, I'm gonna let this happen. I'm not even gonna you let it happen. Ambo rests perfectly, hurts a little in the landing, but lands crotch first onto the very edge of the rim between the backboard and the rest.
So I could start shooting balls if people like alley-oop it?
Oh yeah, if you could alley-oop it, and you look up, and the clock has been going this entire time. The score is 0-0, and there's currently 2.5 minutes left in this quarter. Oh, actually, sorry, it's halves because it's like college. They're using a college scoreboard, so you've got 2.5 minutes left in this half.
All right.
Okay, I think I have a plan here. Tell me a little more about the gigantic murder psycho on the other team. Does he have a weapon?
Oh, now that you see the space kind of pull apart and he starts lumbering towards you. No, Judas has a weapon. Judas has a weapon. He's super yoked. He's off fighting Izzy and her broadsword. But this dude who you saw in the crowd, not with Judas, just a regular employee, but like clearly standing heads above the rest of the folks, starts moving closer and closer, and you see and you hear it before you see it, a thud on the ground, a dragging sound as he brings his hand up, and it's a hammer. He's like a track and field hammer toss player, and so he's just got a hammer on a chain that he's like rolling around, and he throws it at you all as it comes sailing your way. You actually see it sort of moving towards I would like to do it's coming at Alan. And how does Alan get out of the way, Asra?
Well, probably jumps out of the way.
Mm-hmm. So
does like a cool jump roll thing.
He does a jump roll as it comes soaring past him and thuds on the ground. And he dodges it. He looks at you, kind of smirks a little bit. And then you hear a rattling. You see him smile, look over his shoulder, and doesn't realize it's coming right back as he gets pulled into the arms of the big guy. And you see him grab him, moving one hand as he holds the hammer in the other and begins to twirl. And this dude is, like I said, he was bigger. You look at him, it doesn't make sense, but you see now, like, he is large. He stands at roughly 7'4". His hands seem accordingly to that size, if not. Well, that makes sense. Since they're even bigger, they wrap completely around Alan, holding him in place. I don't know if I'm gonna pull up an image for you all. I would say they're kind of like. He looks kind of like the Big Daddies from. Do you guys ever play any of the BioShock games? BioShock Infinite.
Yeah.
And
A long
BioShock
time ago.
Infinite. It's kind of like that. It's this dude whose arms. He's got incredibly long arms, but that like you've got cybernetic enhancements to make them more powerful, and almost like the pneumatic power in the fists themselves as he's holding this sort of space. And you see him with his headband just like massive delts and neck muscles going down and grabbing and holding onto Alan after getting them on the way back.
I have a plan that I wanted to enact for a second here.
Mm-hmm.
This guy, Judas seems really strong-willed and an intense dude, but this gigantic Big Daddy dude seems like he's just like operating on instinct.
Mm-hmm.
So Mr. Ferryman shouts to the valet, "Cover me!" And I want to use a token here to use my magic with haunting accuracy, full ghost mode, and straight up shoot my consciousness into him and possess him. Exorcist style.
Absolutely. You used the token. You've said that magic word. I cannot fault you on your plan. You leave your body where it is. You all sort of, no one actually sees it, but you rest yourself. You put yourself in your catatonic state of just like standing completely still and your eyes shut. And then no one else sees it, but we watch an almost a special lens as we see a bolt of energy, like a lightning bolt, just zip out of you in a spear point precision, landing directly right on this guy's dome as he... What does it look like inside of his head? What do you see inside of Bartholomew the Third's mind?
It's a angry, stupid person's brain. It's just a lot of rage.
Yeah.
I hate this. He's got an Arnold. He's got a short term.
He's got short term. Every time I work out, it's like I can't finish that quote. Never mind. That's not appropriate.
So I'm all the time.
All the time.
It's easier to break into this guy's brain than it would be someone like Judas.
Yeah.
And instantly release Alan, push him away while in control, and just start wailing on members of my own team that I'm in this guy's body.
You see this giant dude catch Alan, like double check himself almost, and you watch his eyes become wide and his pupils change. Not his entire eyelid, but the actual pupils themselves look like the eyes of Mr. Ferryman. So in the whites of his eye, within the whites of it, where people is, you see Mr. Ferryman's eyes as he chucks Alan back at the group, who's very confused after being just thrown around this basketball court, and takes you start wrecking havoc on the dudes around you. So you grab your hammer on a chain and begin swinging it and start like throwing it across it, just taking out tens of these cult members at a time. And so the group has been closing. It's now just a melee that's occurring right now. You see the valet ducking and dodging sort of attacks, getting these quick punches, and then almost appearing at other individuals to like fight real fast, just moving it. You see Alan now free, duck down, doing... he is effortless in his human form of dodging. It's Jet Li's be water. This dude is untouchable. Like, just with everything, and using it to his advantage through the fray as he's getting around every sort of attack that's coming his way. And so we've got a little bit, we see Izzy battling with her claymore against Judas. We're gonna check back into that, but I want to hear what everyone else is getting up to as this fight's been going on. So we got Ben possessing Bartholomew the Third's, this massive Neanderthal of a human being, is then wrecking havoc on the people around them. What do Ambo, Alien, and Luzon get up to?
Oh, I'm playing the game.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, you're looking for any balls that are coming up. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm playing the game.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing. I'm not killing it. I'm playing.
Yeah, you're playing basketball by sitting on the backboard trying to drop balls into the...
And you know what's crazy? The score's going up. It's 4-0. Occasionally a ball will come your way through the mayhem and it'll move up 8-0 and then 10-0.
He's using his little duende abilities to build a Rube Goldberg machine that just feeds balls into the...
That's what I'm doing. Yeah.
You're completely devoid of any of the other fights that are going on because you're safe up here until you see Leslie see you up there, and she clocks a score and chuckles and then pulls an entire cart of I don't know how she keeps getting these Harlem Globetrotter carts of basketballs, but pulls another one and just begins to start like dunking, like just like shooting buckets. And you see, even though you had a lead in the score, it is rapidly closing. And we're going to come back to this. What is Luzon getting up to while this is happening?
So I'm clocking this, and I'm realizing that Judas is the person who is running this game, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's the master, he's the ringleader, so I got to figure out how to stop it. So also Izzy is my second best friend after Ambo, so I want to make sure that she's protected. And so I use one of my tokens, and I run over to Izzy, grab Judas, and energy drain him. And as per my sheet, it says that I can either I can get information out of him, as well as draining his energy.
Perfect. And so I think this is a perfect moment to cut to you. Prepare energy drain, and you're ready to move to Judas. And we see you close the gap. What is Alien doing? Because I want to resolve what happens to Judas with Izzy, because I think it makes sense. But yeah, so what's Alien up to as this is happening? As Alan is dodging and moving stuff. What are you doing?
I think I should do a weak move and give into my bloodlust. I just feel like that would move things along.
Yeah, absolutely. Where Alan is Bruce Lee being water, you are a Viking, a truly just vicious and savage in your design and methodology as you... I imagine you transform in front of everyone at this point.
Yeah,
and
probably.
just begin to drink deep of all the blood and all of the corpses that are now sort of piling up in this space. And as you hear the rip and carnage of... one second, I need to just...
Hey, I tell you, I'm so ugly I went to the doctor.
Yeah.
I was at the proctologist. Yeah. He put his finger in my mouth. Hey, I get no respect.
You're ripping across these bodies. You're gutting them through and through and eating. Sorry for some of the listeners at home. We're using some harsh and sharp audio cues for our storytelling. And so you're as you're now beginning to eat up on this and this is good. Like, Arthur didn't walk that much. These guys are like athletic. They do a lot of work. You're getting a lot of nutrients out of the folks you're consuming here. We see Alien chomping down, and over their shoulder we follow we follow the sound of here it is. That's not the sound I wanted. Follow the sound of swords clanging across one another as you're battling the katana versus your claymore back and forth as Judas being like, nice form, bro. I see you study under the style of the Western sun, but my sword art form, and begins to do a twirl and try to cut at you with their sword. And that's a lot, so we're gonna stop that. And as you're going back and forth, you, Izzy, are being overpressed. Like, this guy is a better swords fighter than you. You are losing footing. You're constantly being pushed back, and you're inspired. Your sword has this broadsword nature of giving you courage. Courage is also sometimes used to make a sacrifice. And so the idea of being like, I will stop Judas if it kills me. And so knowing that you are outclassed and outmatched, you still fight on, engaging in this battle, drunk on this aura of courage surrounding you. When Luzon, you pop out of nowhere, and what is it? I'd love for the two of you to describe, Erica and Shu. What does it look like as, like, paint me a picture, Erica. What does it look like as you're fighting Judas before you see Luzon appear behind them, and then Shu, take it from there. I would love to see what that looks like.
Luzon, I am not going to get killed by a white guy with a katana.
I did make the big villain of this episode, huh? Oh, that's fair. That's all right. Yeah.
You know how many times I've met a guy with a katana? Too many times. I won't die like this.
And so, clacking, and Luzon, you close the distance. What do you do?
I'll save you, Izzy. You're my second best friend after Ambo.
Once again,
And
you look and you see Alien raise their head like, what am I, chopped liver? Holding up a chopped liver.
Mr. Ferryman pretends he doesn't care, but deep inside he's just so wounded. And I just reach out with my water arm, grab this dude, and like drain his energy.
And you drain, and oh man, is there a lot there. This guy, as much as he talks about being a gym bro and accomplished, Ben, you saw his true form underneath it all. That is not what is actually in place here. This is not someone who's ever had to work hard for their muscles. This is not someone who ever had to put any real time to get good at any craft. Everything in this day and age is downloaded and upgraded. And that is what Judas has had access to his entire life. And you pull it all away from him in a moment. And suddenly he is left in a catatonic, semi-devoid state, deprived of energy, and we see the sound. Well, we hear the sound of his sword clank, 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 clank. It's fun. It's actually fun to do some of the sound effects. I'll do some of them. You hear the sword clatter on the ground, and you watch as Judas falls over. On depowered.
That's what you get for using the katana.
It's there if anyone wants it, but it's up to you. And so you, Luzon, watch as these rest of these folks begin to. Actually, all of you sort of look and see with this individual, particularly Judas, falling down. You see the rest of the cult members begin to look a little surprised and a little scared as they back away slowly. Ben, as Bartholomew III, has been just swinging I imagine you're just like swinging around in a circle with your hammer, just like kind of like windmilling as many people as you can, because you said you wanted to cause as much damage, right? So
to his own team,
right.
And we're fighting for control of his brain at the same time.
Yeah.
So he's just screaming as we're doing it.
I like that when you enter the material plane or the voice of this individual who you're combating with for mental and physical space, the sound is the same, and it's molto bene. And so you guys, as you're combating in the mind, struggling to get control, it is resolved in this sort of spin, and you're using it to your advantage as you're going through. And eventually you look up and you stop, because everyone's gone. It's just you all panting as you're dealing with all of the individuals. You look up at the score. It's the second half somehow. It's 116 to 112. 5, 4. And you look, and Leslie reaches for a ball, currently has a score of 116, is all out, has run out of basketball somehow. And Ambo, you see above you, you just need to score 3 baskets. Around you, your friends, as Mr. Ferryman begins to emerge from the body of Bartholomew, who collapses onto his knees down, sort of repossessing your own. You see there are 4: Izzy, Alien, Luzon, Mr. Ferryman. There are 4 basketballs at your feet. You could win this. You could win death basketball. All you need to do is just pass it to Ambo. Or you could kill Leslie in the next 5 seconds, but you could also just pass the basketball to Ambo.
I mean, I just got souped up and like super juiced, and so like I'm super fine with killing. But if you guys need to like do whatever the basketball thing, like that is totally okay. I'm just letting you know that I am juiced up and ready to go.
4, 3.
He was about
Kill her,
to
kill her, kill her.
Kill him.
Okay.
Kill her. Kill her.
Kill her, kill her, kill her.
I take my fire hand and I kill Leslie.
No! And
As I kill her, I say, "I respect women in sports."
As you incinerate.
As you incinerate. You could have beaten her. There was I really like that there was
No,
an opportunity for you all to have.
She's dead. I'm the leading scorer if she's dead.
You're right. You are the MVP. Now.
Yeah, I scored the most
You
points.
scored the most points. Well, actually, you would think so, but you see the scoreboard pops up, and it's a computer-generated message, and it says the MVP awards goes posthumously to Leslie, because technically she scored 116 points, and you only scored 112. And with Death's Basketball, you gotta respect the records. She's dead. She doesn't win, but sometimes they give the MVP to the team that loses, and that's what happened today. That's
So,
true. It happens
like,
sometimes.
once happened that-
Yeah, and
once
I'm the
they-
DM, and I say Leslie gets MVP. And so you all
Oh, I
are...
lost my I lost my 4 baskets too. We shouldn't have killed her.
I mean, the option was quite literally at your teammate's feet. It was right there.
You told me to kill her, and I had to kill a great female athlete. So honestly, I'm on. This one's on you.
Eh.
And so, as you guys are standing in the truly blood, sweat, and tears of all the individuals around you, you steady and gather yourself. You see the valet looks at Mr. Ferriman and you all and say, I had a feeling that I would see you all again. I did not expect it to be like this, but Mr. Ferriman, it looks like I still have some time on my clock, huh?
Looks like it.
Good. Well, righto. And Alan chap. And you see Alan looks over and would you be a good fellow and I don't know, make a path for us as we make our way to the elevator? And Alan's like, sure, dude. He clearly just met him like a moment ago when they were just thrown together to deal with this situation. And Mr. Ferriman begins walking his way to the elevator. And as he enters and plugs it in, he says, I mean, these silly little things I imagine would be too confusing and too much for even your little duende friend here. But a man of myself and my means have access to all sorts of technology. And don't worry, I think I have a straight shot. And you see he grabs Luzon's hand and like presses the wrist. And suddenly like this like chip pops out of your hand, Luzon. And he wipes it over a sensor bar. And because you had drained the energy of Judas, who had access to the floor right before, Marcus Estrada, you have the ability to send something or perhaps some people through the pneumatic tube on the 25th floor into the 26th. And he describes this to you all, explaining the situation as he presses the button on 25 and goes, well, up we go. And the doors close, and that's where we're going to end our session for this week. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. This has been Balikbayan returning home. We're going to do a quick round of outros as we go around the bend. Let's start it off with the reverse order. The least but not the last, it's Harrison.
Hi, everybody. I'm Harrison Happen. You can find me on Twitter at Harrison_Happen and on Instagram at HarrisonIsHappening. You can also find me on PSN at Monkey Mud. I need some people to carry me to Diamond. You know, maybe some Masters. You know, I'm a Lifeline main. So yeah, hit me up. Let me know.
Heck yeah, let's move right along. Shu, what do you got going on?
My name is Shu. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Hello There Shu. One of those is only for random food that I stress bake, and one of those is for just sadness combined into like 280 characters or whatever. I don't really have much going on. So I'm just gonna put a word out for. I just watched the show Alice in Borderland, and it's really good.
People
And
say
if
great things. Yeah.
Dude, if every live action anime was this good, I swear to God, I would whine so much less. I'm looking at you, Death Note. So, check it out, please. I need higher numbers because I need there to be a season 2.
Is it? So it is based on an original like manga that exists?
Yes.
I got you. I don't know anything about it, but like my friend Solani, who I do Indoor Resource Crew with, was telling me like it was a lot darker than they were expecting, but had a blast through it.
I hate horror anime, and I don't watch a lot of that type of shonen stuff, but I thought it was really well done. I thought it was really good, and honestly, this is the future of what anime live action should be. And as the chat mentioned, we don't talk about Death Note.
We don't. And speaking of which, Astra, do you want to hit us with your goodbyes and tell us about? I don't know how that. Sorry, I really thought I was going to come up with a transition out of that, and I didn't.
Yeah, what a segue.
I was like, speaking of which,
that's okay.
Hey, Astra, tell us about yourself. Yeah.
I'm bad with segues too. Hi, I'm Astra. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Kanye__West. If we're talking about TV shows we just watched, I just binged all yesterday instead of working. Don't tell my boss. All of Are You the One season 2.
Oh no!
Oh my god!
I heard it. So I heard.
What is that?
It's please.
Okay, it's a reality show where they take 10 men and 10 women, and they have all these experts talk to them, and they're people who are historically bad at relationships. They match them up with their perfect match and stick them all in a house together, and they have to figure out who their perfect match is.
They don't tell them who their perfect match is. That's the thing, yeah.
And the best part is people will start dating and be like, okay, you're my perfect match. And then they have to go into the truth booth or the truth booth. And then they get scanned. It looks like it's like Beam Me Up Scotty type scanning. and then usually it's no match. And then the people who thought they were going to be the one are like, what?
Yeah.
No, you're my one forever. And then it's just so much drama. It's really good.
That's crazy. That's how Masood cast this show.
Yeah. This is exactly all of you.
I'm still trying to figure out which one of you is my perfect match.
So I really like that show because I think I had a buddy who was telling me about watching it, and they tried. Essentially, it's a complicated math problem. It's like a game. You could solve it, but he was because I haven't watched it, but he's been telling me a lot about it. None of them are the type of people who would be able to just think of that.
In season 5, I think.
But also, you can't have pen and paper there to do them. They
don't. You don't give you. Oh,
no,
that's so rude.
Do, because in one of the reunions, someone was who was the one who was most game minded, and then this one guy was like, "Here's my journal. I journaled all of the
outcomes and
yes, or I think what they would do, what I would do is write down who were the matches and then how many who were the pairs and then how many lights every time, and then once you figured out this person is a perfect match, okay, so on this night we had this many beams, that takes that out. Who else was the perfect? How many other beams were there? Who else was sitting together?
If you work cooperatively, absolutely, you could definitely suss out the answer.
Exactly, but then people are like, I'm gonna play with my heart, and it's you can bang whoever you want to bang, that's fine. Just for the matching ceremony, just choose who we tell you to choose.
Well, you've given us a lot to chew on. And speaking of choosing who we'll all start watching Are You the One and to catch up. I heard there's also a LGBT season that is
I think everyone's bisexual in one season, which I'm
heard it's a mess, and
I'm excited to get to it.
And speaking of bisexual messes, Ben, tell us about yourself.
That is that's how I
that's
feel
a
myself.
transition, baby.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Let's see. Ben Cummings here, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. You can find me at Ben Cummings on Twitter and Instagram. I tweeted once this week. Very good. Very good tweet. And I posted a couple Instagram stories. What else do I have to say? I guess if I had to say anything, oh boy, let me tell you, I was such an ugly
I hate
kid.
you. I hate
let
you.
me
Why
tell
do
you.
you have to flex on me like this? Why do you?
When
Why
I
is
used
that
to play in a
necessary?
sandbox, the cat kept
No
covering me up.
respect. No respect. See, it's there. I just need a picture. A jump. It's fine. Whatever.
Oh, let me tell you. And then also, if I watched one thing this week, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. Very good.
It's good. Yeah. Okay.
Very good. Chadwick, of course, rest in peace, is incredible. But I think Viola Davis takes the cake. Very cool.
Of course she does.
Very cool, unusual character for her. And it's a little like the other live-action August Wilson from recent years, Fences, where it's sort of like, wow, this would be a lot more affecting if this heart-rending monologue ended with curtains closing instead of just like going to another scene.
There's no fade to black. There's not like.
There's no, movies versus theater. It's like sometimes you can tell the script was made for theater versus film. But that being said, incredible performance, is totally worth watching. Everybody check it out.
Hell yeah. And then moving right along, Erica.
Yeah, my name is Erica Geyser. You can find me on Instagram at Bebica_says. And something I watched recently, finally, was Work in Progress. It's so good, you guys. It's this show by a Chicago comedian who, I think it was originally released on Showtime, but I saw it on Amazon Prime.
Oh, yeah.
So good, so touching, so moving. I don't want to give too much away, but it is such a bingeable watch, and it like really makes you, it makes me really nostalgic for Chicago and like being in public with other people. Yeah.
That'd be nice. Well, you made my heart ache. So I guess I'll do my outro. Hi, I'm Masood. I was remembered that I used to exist outside of my apartment once. But yeah, you can find me now stuck inside. So I'm online a lot. You can see me on Sundays playing Rivals of Water. Actually, no, we're on vacation for a little bit, but we'll be back January 31st with a brand new cast and some wonderful people. Latia at the helm for Rivals of Waterdeep, Season 9. Tuesday nights, I got Mythic Odyssey of the Theros. We're back on this upcoming Tuesday. Yesterday, we watched Twilight. I saw it for the first time, and boy, is it bad! Though I am a part of the Rosalie Simp Club. It has happened 100%. And what else? Wednesday, I'm here with the wonderful folks of SFN for Balikbayan returning home. We've got only 2 more episodes left, guys. It's wrapping up. It's getting good. We're excited. I'm excited. Stay along for the ride. If you need to catch up, go watch the VOD on YouTube. Thursdays, I do Once Upon a Game. We're currently on break a little bit just because it's the holidays. But we'll be back. I promise. I'll finish Life is Strange. It'll happen. I swear. Yeah. And that's it, folks. That's all I gotta say. We'll be around. Come check us out next week at the same time, same place, same beautiful faces. And we'll see you then. Thanks so much for hanging out. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.